let's be real. You know that everybody knows they wasn't not never gonna get to that side of town.
Well, here's the thing. They got to that side of town Saturday or Sunday when they're just doing their march. They did a march from West Side. They made it all the way through the West Side, no problems. Coincidentally, the cops went on the West Side. So they made it to the West Side, no problems. Once they hit like Camden Yards, they actually made it to the baseball stadium. That's when shit went left, and it went left. And no one's gonna tell you. Well, there's an article in the city paper, Baltimore, about why it actually went left. A bunch of drunk Orioles fans started antagonizing the march. They started saying, "Go home, niggers," and the white kids there, they're like, "You nigger lovers, go home. We don't want you. You know, go back to your welfare checks." They were deliberately antagonizing the protesters. And what happened was, one of my dad's favorite scenes in Harlem Nights, ain't gonna be too many more motherfuckers around here. Like, you keep messing with someone, eventually they're gonna react. So they reaction, and some people got, you know, the Orioles fans started, like, the people at Camden Yards started throwing bottles first. So it's like, okay, fine, if that's how it's gonna be, fuck it, it'll pop off. And that's what happened. Like, that's how that incident happened. So that's what happened there. No one's going to talk, well, very few people are going to talk about why it went left, and it went left because the police and the drunk fans at Camden Yards were fucking with people. Like, real talk, if you just leave people alone, they're not going to fuck with you. Like, we saw that in Ferguson. The most successful night of protests in Ferguson happened when the police actively worked with the protesters to ensure that they not only had safe routes, but they weren't also interfering with anyone's traffic route. Like, when you actually work with people and treat them like people and treat them like human beings, bad stuff doesn't happen. So yesterday, everything popped off yesterday at around, when did school let out? School let out about, what, 2:50, 3 o'clock? That's when sort of everything popped off yesterday. Here's why it popped off. The way West Side Baltimore City is set up, like Baltimore City public schools in general, they don't have a yellow bus system. Like, all the kids that get to and from school rely on public transit. Keep that in mind for what's about to happen next. So the funeral for Freddie Gray just lets out. School's letting out around the same time. Police show up at a high school. They block off the roads and they shut down public transportation there. So when the kids get out of school, the roads are blocked off, there's cops in full riot gear, and they're telling them disperse or be arrested. So the kids are like, okay, cool. We're just trying to get home. Where are the buses? Buses aren't coming. Other side note, the buses that had already left from the area, police had stopped them and gotten all the kids off the buses.
What?
They had pulled kids off the buses. So this is how all this shit popped off yesterday. So the police deliberately set up a situation where they boxed the kids into high school and then told them disperse or be arrested without giving them any way of getting home. By the way, parents that were trying to get to the high school to pick up their kids because they can't take the public buses home were denied entry. So, you boxed in the kids, you've told them they can't go home, and when they say, look, what are we supposed to do? That's when they started tear gassing them and beating them. So that's when the kids said, fuck it. If you're going to box me in and treat me like an animal, then damn it, you're going to get the claws too. So that's when that popped off yesterday.
Wow.
So the kids,
Why shouldn't they just be like Martin Luther King Jr. and
just
be
take the ass
non-violent and just take the ass whooping? I mean, that's what
Damn
Dr.
it,
King would
niggers.
have wanted